Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine avataravarishthaya Ramakrishnaya te namah. To M, Master is telling, Sri Ramakrishna is speaking. What is the explanation of ebb tide and flood tide? M. According to Western astronomy, they are due to attraction of the sun and moon. In order to explain it, M drew figures on the earth and began to show the master the movements of the earth, sun and moon. The master looked at the figures for a minute and said, "Stop, please. It gives me a headache." Presently, the tide came up the Ganges. Too much of calculations, which is something like hair-splitting arguments, discussions, which the scientific minds feel it is worth and it is needed. But when the earthly things become meaningless, when the transcendental reality shines forth, when you wake up from dream, somebody is discussing about what happened in the dream. Doesn't give there is no validity for it. To the extent we can understand and interpret a dream is all right. But too much giving importance to that will make the real unreal and unreal real. It is something like which has happened and gone, and it will never appear again. We are discussing about it. It should have happened like that. I wish I should have done like that. I should have thought like that. All these are meaningless because it has happened and gone away and never to return again. The person has woken up from dream. Now, however much he thinks of the dream, it has no value. Like that, Sri Ramakrishna, the real essence of human life is how to transcend the nature and be eternally free from all aspects and bindings of nature and be free from all sufferings. So he says, it gives me an headache. Presently, the tide came up the Ganges. They heard the sound of the rushing water. The tide struck the bank of the river and flowed toward the north. Sri Ramakrishna looked at it intently and exclaimed like a child, "Look at that boat. I wonder what is going to happen to it." Because water comes gushing, huge waves form. It can topple a small boat floating on the water. The master and M sat down for a while in Panchavati. Sri Ramakrishna placing his umbrella on the cement platform. The conversation turned to Narayan. The boy was a student. Sri Ramakrishna looked upon him as Narayana, God Himself, and was very fond of him. A boy used to come, like all these youngsters, Naren and all. His name was Narayan, and Sri Ramakrishna used to feel he is really God Narayan. Master, have you noticed Narayan's nature? He can mix with all, old and young. One cannot do this without a special power. Besides, all love him. Is he really artless? Sri Ramakrishna has great fascination towards these youngsters who are honest, who are humble, who are simple, who are guileless, like small children moving about in the world. Having grown up, you see, there are a lot of things where a man may be growing in age, but he may be immature throughout his rest of the life. His age is increasing, but mental capability has not increased. His understanding of things of the world is not yet right. He is not matured enough to understand what this world is, what people are. Not because of simplicity, but because of tamas. Many we see in this world who are physically grown up, but mentally immature yet. This will not work in spiritual world so much. We need a different kind of intelligence that can penetrate into the upper layer of this external world and see within, which can give us a understanding of the transcendental. How to do this? We are busy with the day-to-day life that is passing. I'm so much concerned about today, now, which is not going to be there after a few days at all. Why did I spend time in that? We may feel. Especially when the old age comes, you will see what all you have done. Nothing exists. All have gone away. All things have disappeared. And bodily existence has become weak. Mind has become weak. Body has become weak. Senses have become weak. What does it matter now? What we have to attain before that is to transcend our bodily existence, transcend this nature, and enter the realm of the transcendental before the fall of the body. The whole struggle is to transcend. This cannot be avoided. Joys and sufferings of life can never be avoided, because what all we do is an admixture of good and bad. So the results will go on extending. Do karma, result comes. To experience the result, continue life. Life continues, goes on continuing, till we realize God, transcend the nature and go. This merry-go-round within the world of transmigration continues. Sri Ramakrishna is asking, is he really artless? I think so. Master, I understand that he goes to your place. Is that so? Yes, sir. He has visited me once or twice. Master, will you give him a rupee, or shall I ask Kali about it? Kali is a devotee of the Master, another person, another devotee. Will you give him a rupee? Or shall I ask about it to Kali? Master, is replying, very well, sir. I shall give him the money. Master, that's fine. It is good to help those who yearn for God. Thus one makes good use of one's money. What will you gain by spending everything on your family? Kishori had several children. His salary was too small to support his family. Sri Ramakrishna said to him, Narayan said he would get a job for Kishori. Please remind him of it. Narayana said. Actually, it is Naran. Here, one last letter is missing. It is Narayan. It is not this Narayan, the boy. Why is not there? Naran said he would get a job for Kishori. Please remind him. The master walked away in the direction of the pine grove. Returning to the Panchavati, he said to him, please ask someone to spread a mat outside my room. I shall lie down a few minutes. I am coming presently. These are all parts of Leela. A Leela is going on. Every act has a purpose. Everything, whatever he utters, has a purpose, has a teaching. See how we spend money, where all we waste our money, how to make best use of our wealth. We have to take care of our family. But excessive money, after looking after all the family and everything, what remains is not for us. It is God given for others who are in need. Once you spend it particularly for the needy, the excess money, immediately nature starts supplying you. Because the nature wants to serve. It has to be done through someone who is selfless, who is concerned about others, who loves all, who has developed the universal love, a love of equanimity. So, the nature and God also will be serving the people in and through these unselfish souls. They want one instrument to work. One is they can do without an instrument also. But the instrument also will be reaching the Supreme, and the beneficiary is getting benefit not from the individual, but from the Lord and nature. When the master returned to his room, he could not find his umbrella and exclaimed, "You have all forgotten the umbrella." The busy, the busy body does not see a thing even when it is very near him. A man went to a friend's house to light the charcoal for his smoke, though all the time he had a lighted lantern in his hand. In those days, these now present electricity lights were not there. Everything was lamps and lanterns. So lantern is lighted lantern is having to light a charcoal for his smoke. He has taken the lantern at night and walked long distance to his friend's house to light the charcoal. In those days, one or two houses, because oil extraction and oil storing also was difficult. Those people who are sufficiently well off, having large fields and all, they could extract oil from the oil seeds and get the kerosene and other things also. But most of the houses were of the middle class who cannot afford to keep a light lighted throughout the night. So when all the works and activities are over, they will put off all the lights. And next day, morning, they will have the light. One or two houses, they will keep a lamp burning throughout the night outside, who are affordable. They keep the light burning. And whenever these people want, early in the morning, they go light their lamps and come. Walking a few steps doesn't matter. To extract the oil and use it for the whole night, it's better you walk a few steps. Suppose 10 or 12 houses, there is one person who is keeping the light burning. It is sufficient. So Sri Ramakrishna is giving that analogy. To light a charcoal for his smoke, although all the time he had a lighted lantern in his hand. Another man looked everywhere for his towel. Finally, he discovered that it had been on his shoulder all the time. It was about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The master ate the prasad from Kali temple. Then he wanted to rest a while, but the devotees were still sitting in his room. They were asked to go out, and their master lay down. He said to Baburam, "Come here, sit near me." Baburam answered, "I am preparing betel leaf." Master said, "Put your betel leaf aside." The devotees sat under the bakul tree in the Panchavati. Tarak, who had just returned from Vrindavan, told them the stories of his visit. A little later, Sri Ramakrishna was seated again on his couch. The devotees sitting on the floor. Shamdas was singing with his party. This is the common sight we see around Sri Ramakrishna. Wherever he is there, somebody will bring some people who can sing well. There will be something like a ceremonial meeting in which bhajans are going on. Some things are, somebody is supplying their small needs of water and refreshments. It's a beautiful setting in which Sri Ramakrishna would very often, this whole setup is just to demonstrate the reality. The dancing, he forgets his bodily existence. Just ecstatic love of God. How they forget the whole world and their own bodily existence. Most important thing Sri Ramakrishna ultimately says is, whole thing is one whole essence of the whole spiritual life and human struggle is to attain that love of God. Love of God, such a love of God, which makes you forget everything. How is it possible? Even in the earth, those who intensely love each other, they very little do they forget their bodies. Because there is a barrier in between always. What is that barrier? Both are divine, but there is a difference in their existential rhythm. His rhythm is different, that rhythm is different. But God is universal rhythm, which matches with the rhythm of every soul. I want to become one with any person. One, totally one. Forget my existence and merge in that. I cannot. Maximum I can utilize to get a little enjoyment. That's all. Here with God is universal set, who sets with everyone. He is a jiva who is filled with all weightage of this world, dirt of this world. If he loves God, he can tune with it and transcend the nature. A highly evolved soul, if he can love God and tune with that God, can transcend his existential aspect. So you'll see two people, however close they are, they cannot become one. Total oneness in existence is not possible. They can sit together, they can embrace each other, body can never become one, mind can never become one, intellect can never become one, heart can appear to be one for some time, with all tendencies to split and part. But it is not so with God. In love of God, God tunes to us rather than little love. If you can cultivate in your life little love, very little, a small quantity of love that you give to your own children, if you can focus it on the divine, the rest of the thing is taken care of him. He tunes himself, God tunes himself to the devotee and makes him his own. And you will forget the world, you will forget your own bodily existence in that ecstatic love of God. And Master ate the prasads of Kal temple, wanted to rest a while, we saw. And then a little later, Sri Ramakrishna again, seated again on the coach, the devotee sitting. Shyamdas was singing with his party. He sang of the gopis' grief at the separation of Krishna. See, the whole thing is demonstrating to attain jnana, Atma Jnana or Brahma Jnana. It's very difficult. It needs total renunciation of all aspects of life's existence in this world. Tyaga and Samarpana. But in the path of bhakti, love of God, it's very easy. You are focusing somewhere which doesn't need renunciation or tearing away from the rest. You are absorbed and naturally you become. And loving and absorption in God is participated by God and nature helping. Nature is helping, God is participating. From the other side, there is equal participation. When I try to renounce the world, I am alone. I am struggling alone to go beyond. There it is. Nature is helping you because love belongs to nature. Nature's realm, I am expressing my heart. So, you need to do only a small portion of your sadhana, that is loving God. And the rest, you become naturally indifferent to the rest of the world, get absorbed in God, and the rest is taken care. So he sang the gopis' grief at the separation from Sri Krishna. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.